Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are in the Iowa. And we were actually trying to stream snipe Mr. Hivehound again. And while he was waiting for us to try to get into a match, we inevitably did not end up in the same match. However, somebody else ended up in the match with me and he's on the enemy team and is Jean Bart. His name is MV Retro, and if you've been around the channel for a while, especially in the streams and stuff, you probably have seen MV Retro more than once. So, this is the first chance that I believe that we've actually, well, technically, in the last match, we were on the same team, and then this match we were actually against each other. So, we were on the same page, but just not in the page of Hivehound's chat, apparently, or Hivehound's game, unfortunately. But with that being said, we are going to have ourselves one heck of a game on this side of the map. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is everybody's going to leave me alone. And by leave me alone, I mean my team's just going to run away, which is something that happens quite often with me. I don't know why. I think it's just people see me and they're like, I'm sure he can handle it. And I have no choice but to try to handle it. But we do have a cruiser staying, and the battleship seems to be running away. So we'll go forward, see what we can get into. Now, I've been being a little bit more passive early in matches just because I've gotten myself into a situation more than once now where I get caught and punished early. Not necessarily by battleships, but definitely by fire starters. And you'll notice there's a Boise right over there that we just took a shot at, and we just got 4 penetrations for 14,000 damage. So he's lucky he's not dead, because given any sort of angle like that to a dispersion build Iowa, generally does not end well for an American cruiser of any sort. But he got lucky this time. We only took 14,000 health. Now you'll notice there's a Bismarck out here. This game is going to go from 0 to 100 to probably about 60. So hopefully you guys are ready, because we're going to get up in here and get ourselves into quite a predicament. But we're hopefully going to show that with some superior intellect and some paying attention to what's going on around us, we're going to be able to do just fine. Now, this Boise thinks he's being pretty sneaky. He's really, really not. And there he gets citadeled for his troubles, this time taking us up to 38,000 damage. So you can see that he's probably not happy with life choices right about now, and he's probably getting pretty upset with the fact that he is the only thing being spotted and shot at right now. And there are 2 other battleships with him. One is the Bismarck, the other is the Colorado. And so you guys are going to get to see firsthand just what kind of goes through my mind in certain situations. Now, I tend to be a little bit more aggressive than most people, mostly because I like to make videos for you guys that are entertaining. And the more aggressive I am, the more entertaining it can be. This also means that I get myself into trouble quite often, especially during live streams if you guys have ever watched. Now, hello Baltimore, you're in perfect place to be shot by the rear gun. So I'll just let you hold that for a minute, and we're getting back to our attention. Now, we are detected right now by the Baltimore. They just lost to Jean Bart early. That's a huge loss for their team. And this Bismarck is going to get impatient and try to sail right up in there. And you'll see, I see a Colorado with this Boise, but he's too far back. I'm going to try to get rid of the fire starter first and foremost. So you see, I just prioritize the fire starting cruiser and see if I can get rid of him. Unfortunately, that time, it got caught by the rocks. It happens. But I'm going to do the next thing that I can do, which is push forward, because I can use the islands for 2 purposes. One, I use the island as just regular cover. If I'm behind an island, it's harder to hit me. However, the other part of it is the closer I get to that fire-starting cruiser, the harder it is for him to hit me because the shells are traveling at a flatter trajectory. So if I get closer, he's going to be hitting the island, which means he can't hit me as much. Now, I don't want to get too close too early because I want to be able to shoot the Bismarck. He's going into the cap. I need to deny him the cap. And you can see he's angled pretty decently towards us, actually. I mean, it's not a great broadside, but it's a pretty good shot for a Iowa to be taking. And you'll see we go ahead and put the shot in. Maybe didn't lead him quite enough, but we still get a pretty decent result out of it, 6,000 damage or so. And you can see I started to reverse so that I can maintain shots on the Bismarck. However, once we start reversing, that Boise's going to be able to, and oh my god, thank you, Destroyer, for punching the Bismarck right in the mouth hole. He just took a mess of torpedoes, and now he is very, very much afraid of his life. And he should be, because wait for it. That's a much better result. Almost 15,000 damage done there in that salvo. And then I turned to try to get the rear gun involved. Come on. Well, I thought I was turning to get the rear gun involved. Looks like I'm still stopped, so I'm just waiting to get loaded. He's not long for this world. The Boise still, oh my god, giving me a chance. I'm going to take him instead of the Bismarck here. Come on, get the guns loaded. Shot out, and... oh, he got lucky. 3 overpins is all we got. Now, some of you might have thought, well, why would you shoot him and not the Bismarck? Well, I've got people next to me that were shooting at the Bismarck, so I figured that's not going to give me much better chance than that right there to take on that cruiser. And the Bismarck is just one shot away from death. If I look at him the wrong way, he dies. And I'm about to look at him the exact wrong way. And sure enough, wait for it, and pow, gone. It's just gone. Now we have a Colorado directly ahead. The Boise's starting to become a pain in my neck again because he's able to shoot over the islands. So now I need to be able to push up. But I can't push up too far because look at where the Colorado was last seen. He's pushing forward. Now we go ahead and we put out the fire. Probably not the best choice, but as you can see, he's starting to aim over top of me, which means he's having trouble actually hitting my ship. And I say that, he immediately puts several rounds on me, getting a fire, and yeah, not preferable. But I use one of my heals, and that's going to be able to pretty much negate a good chunk of the damage that I would be taking from the fire. And he makes himself a target one more time. Really? Really, game? Really? Darn it. But, again, we're pushing up. We're angling towards the Colorado right now because we don't want to be getting Citadel. But we're also making sure that we can potentially get a shot on that Boise if he comes around the corner, because we even have our rear guns. Now look at this Colorado just begging for it, right through the side of the little hole in between the rock and the rest of the island, and we get a couple penetrations, nothing major. But it was definitely a juicy window. And you can see he's pushed himself even further out now. And I have no teammates around me. So this is a Boise, Colorado. The Bismarck's already gone. And there is a Jean Bart starting to take shots at me, which, if you notice, the name is MV Retro. Now you can see I'm kind of looking, trying to figure out where I should shoot. Just be a little more patient, Spartan. He'll give you a chance. And, oh, there it is. Hello. Hold these for me, Retro. How you doing, buddy? Shouldn't have shot at me, man. I wouldn't have paid attention to you. But now that I do... okay, I bounce around. Darn it! It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But that means I need to poke a little further forward. I don't want to be getting caught by Retro broadside. He's actually in a very good position to crossfire me. So I'm going to move forward, and out of nowhere, this Boise decides to grow a pair and come steaming around the corner like a complete dummy with no health left. What are you doing? What? How did he live? Okay. Okay. I see you. I see you. It's a thing. I get it. But don't expect that to last much longer. You don't have much in the way of health, and down he goes thanks to the Jean Bart, who is over and about the midway part of the map, giving us a little bit of supporting fire. Now, you may have noticed that the Colorado was pushing up. We're going to have a little bit of a gut check moment here with this Colorado. I'm trying to get into a position where I can punch him in the mouth when he comes around the corner, and unfortunately he's already around the corner completely, and now he is in a very, very precarious position for me, and if I go around this corner too far without angling, he will punch me right in the citadel and obliterate me. But I come around pretty decently angled for what we are, and then I shoot kind of the upper plating, and you'll see that that was very effective. I've been learning a little bit more about what these 16-inch guns are capable of. Now, you might be thinking, you know, Spartan, you've played the Iowa for 400-plus games. Are you just now... Yes, there are things that I am still learning about engagements that come in handy, like being able to penetrate the upper bow armor of certain ships. Mainly, most of the battleships that I come into. And you'll see right there, he's slightly over-angled, and we punish him one more time. And you can see just how much different it is. And don't get me wrong, he's got the exact same guns as we do. He could easily... Well, I think his are actually the 45 caliber, not the 50 caliber. But you see what I'm saying. He's got 16-inch guns. We're close enough that the caliber of the gun doesn't really make a difference. It's where you aim, and he's aiming at my belt armor on the side trying to get citadels when he should be aiming at my bow armor, which is much thinner, and he'd be able to do stuff like that. And so we managed to escape a ram just in case he was actually trying to ram us. We managed to get out of the way of that. Now we need to get back to being angled versus retro. And if there's one thing that I've learned in World of Warships or World of Tanks since I've been a YouTuber, has been once somebody knows you're there, they generally just don't leave you alone. And with Retro being in the position that he is fully committed to coming to this side. Now, notice the path of our Jean Bart. He is also coming over, finally, to assist this side now that I've killed everything that was over here with 119,000 damage and 2 kills. Out of the 3 ships that was over here, I killed 2 of them. I only managed to miss killing the 1 because I, you know, in true Spartan fashion, leave him with just enough to get away. That's just the way I do things, you know. But with the Jean Bart out here being retro, I am now bow tanking him, and I'm going to be going full speed ahead using the island that's very short as my approach, and then we are going to very carefully maneuver ourselves into a position to... Ouch! Retro just got touched by the other Jean Bart. You can see he's bow tanking me. I'm getting the worst dispersion known to man, which is another reason I'm pushing up, because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about Jean Bart's, but every time I shoot at him, I get the worst dispersion known to man, unless I get within like 10 kilometers of them, and then suddenly my dispersion fixes itself. But yeah, it's annoying. I know that they have premium camo, you know, permanently, so it's a thing. But you can see we're getting some okay penetrations, doing 5,000 damage there. But we're going to push up, and we've got to be very, very careful. This is a Jean Bart. You cannot afford to give your broadside in an Iowa to a Jean Bart. You can't afford to give your broadside to any battleship in an Iowa, but definitely not to a Jean Bart, and definitely not inside 10 kilometers. I don't know if he's used his reload boosters yet, so I can't afford to take the risk that he hasn't, and he's about to, you know, deck me. We get a much better penetration there for 8,500. He sends a pretty good salvo back, and now that he's reloading, I'm going to go ahead and commit to my turn, hoping that he's not going to hit me with the reload booster, and we're going to try to turn back. As you can see, I'm already turning back to the right. I'm slowing down to quarter speed to try to turn in sharper, and just as the shots arrive, we manage to negate most of it with our armor. So very, very close, very good maneuvering in an Iowa. And then this is all stuff that you learn as you play ships, and the Iowa is my most played ship, so it's something that I had to learn over time, and I'm still improving at, is just making sure that I know how long it takes me to turn one direction to the other. And you can see here, he's starting to charge forward. He's feeling like there's no hope left. He's the last man alive. There's less than 50 seconds left. We just knocked out one of his main guns, not permanently, but just enough to reset his reload on that gun. And even if he fixes it, you know, it's going to be a problem. And so here he can only shoot one gun at us. He hits one time and it actually ricochets off the bow armor. And now we're getting into that situation where we're both very susceptible of being damaged, and then he turns to bow tank me, which is giving his flat broadside to the guy behind me, and I get a very good salvo shooting just above the guns. You'll see that I do that quite a bit. I try to, if you shoot just above the guns and they go low, you end up hitting the gun and breaking it. And if you shoot just, oh, come on. Really, we didn't kill him? That's fine. Just as the time expires, the guy behind me finishes him off. But, yeah, you'll see that I've had a pretty solid game there at 152,000 damage, 2 kills, 1 citadel. Not a bad result. So, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.